And we're live. Welcome, everybody. For those who are tuning, waiting for the room to fill in, we've got it 0 right now. But good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. This is Mike from Real Black, and welcome to the Real Black podcast. And today we're going to talk. It's been a while since I've done a live, so pardon me if I'm a little rusty. Can you hear me okay? That's the first question. So if someone can give me a thumbs up, make sure that the sound is coming in clear. That'd be awesome. But welcome. I hope everybody's having a great week. It's been real crazy lately. Clouding my Instagram, people passing away. So um yesterday it was Bell Hooks. Last week it was Greg Tate, who the writer for The Village Voice. Bell Hooks, a great feminist critic, author of one of my favorite books, Real to Real and Salvation. If you see my Instagram, you see those are the books I put up in tribute to her. Just a really bright minds being lost. And then today I found out that Hub, the bass player from The Roots, passed away. He had been battling cancer for a while. Those, rest in peace to those people. Poor little liquor out for Hub, Bell Hooks, Greg Tate, and other people that you know. So I wanted to jump into that before we get into the movies. We're going to talk movies tonight. There's some. I know people are still doing their Christmas shopping. I wanted to get this live cast in before it was too late for people to order these things. I didn't want to talk about this after Christmas or after the holidays and have people say, "Oh man, I could have got that from my aunt," or "Ooh, my brother would have loved that," or whatever. So I just wanted to share some of the recent acquisitions to my vault, and give you some mini reviews. Also, thank you, everyone. The numbers came in for the year, and we're going to do a thank you video separately. Charles can't be here tonight, but we got our 2021 review in, and this year we had 1.4 billion watch time minutes, 92.8 million total views. The number one video of the most viewed video of the year was There Are Two Donald Trumps by Dick Gregory. We had over 135,000 comments. Thank you for that. February was the month with the most views. We received our million. I wish it was $1 million. Please, next year, Lord willing. Million subscriber plaque, the Gold Crater Award recipient, and we added so many more new fans. So we've had 4.5 million lifetime likes, 535,000 lifetime comments, and we've been in business on YouTube for 5,608 days. So that's 2007 for those who are not as good at math as I am. So thank you for helping us grow in the way that we can, the way that we have been. Super chat is enabled. If you have questions, I'll be scanning through after I go through the presentation to answer them. But this should take no more than an hour to hang out with you guys. It's been a while. What else is going on? The National Registry, for those who don't know, is the Library of Congress. Every year they announce 25 movies to join the National Registry. These are American films that are influential motion pictures to be inducted into the National Film Registry of the Library of Congress, selected for their cultural, historic, aesthetic importance to preserve the nation's film heritage. The newest selections include epic trilogies, major roles for Jennifer Lopez and Cicely Tyson, extraordinary animated features, comedy and music, and films that took on racially motivated violence against people of color decades ago. So this is probably the most diverse list of films that they've ever put out, and I'll pop it onto the screen. I'll go through some of the titles with you. So basically, the government Library of Congress puts money into preserving the films in the National Registry to last for eternity. Basically, these are in chronological order. I'll point out the films. Let me take the board down for a second. Let me figure out how to do that. Take this down for a second so you can see the whole list. So the Ringling Brothers Parade film is a short film that is the Ringling Brothers Parade going through an all-black neighborhood in Indianapolis. And it's unique because it doesn't show black people eating watermelon and chicken for the time 1902. It shows what a thriving economic community Indianapolis, Indiana was for black people, and the circus is coming to town. The Flying Ace is the Norman number 3 on the list here. The Flying Ace is an all-black silent film about a airline pilot. It's actually included in the I believe it's in this box set, which I'll bring to you in a second. The Kino box set of Pioneers in African American Cinema, which came out about 6 years ago, and it's being preserved. It's been preserved by the Library of Congress, but now it's made to Registry. Hellbound Train is also in that box set, and it's a religious film that fragments were found by and reconstructed by S. Toriano Barry. S. Toriano Barry. Strangers on Trains, Hitchcock film. Murder of Fred Hampton. If everybody saw Judas and the Black Messiah, this is a film made, I believe, by Newsreel. Well, Newsreel is based in New York, so maybe it wasn't. But it's Murder of Fred Hampton is made by some independent Chicago filmmakers about obviously the murder of Fred Hampton, who was the subject of last year's Judas and the Black Messiah. Sounder, important film. One of the first black films being nominated for, I believe, Academy Award for Screenwriting, and I think Cicely Tyson was nominated for that film as well. It's great to see Sounder on the list. It should really be out on DVD and Blu-ray. For whatever reason, it's always been put out on budget labels, and right now it's currently out of print. If you see behind me, changed the poster today. Cooley High, number 14. What more can you say about Cooley High? It's one of my favorite movies. Michael Schultz, Eric Monti, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs' early appearance by Robert Townsend as one of the basketball players at the end. You know, you got Cochise and Preach, and long overdue in my opinion. Cooley High being on that National Archives list. A movie that we're going to get into in a minute, Richard Pryor live in concert, 1979. The concert film, the album was The Wanted live in concert, recorded in California in 1979, and it really was his breakthrough film, and it also set the template for all the concert movies to come after that. So shout out to Richard Pryor and his family for getting into the National Registry. It'd be great to see a 4K restoration of that. How crisp and clean would that be? Although I believe the movie was originated in 16 millimeter, but it'd be great if they can go back to the original elements and restore that for us. A lot of people, Return of the Jedi, important for the list. George Lucas movie, Episode 4, Return of the Jedi, but that has Lando Calrissian in it, so we can shout that one out. Billy D. Williams. Stop Making Sense, Jonathan Demme movie. He's one of my mentors, and this is the concert film about Talking Heads that he did. Not a black film per se, but shout out to Jonathan Demme for making the list. Who Killed Vincent Chin? It's Christine Choi, who taught at NYU at the time that I was going there. Who Killed Vincent Chin? It's a documentary. And actually, Christine Choi is the subject of a new documentary that's playing and premiering at Sundance next month. So big ups to her. She's still doing her thing so many years later. The Watermelon Woman, early Black LGBTQ feature film done by Philadelphia native Cheryl Dunye. We have an interview with Cheryl on the channel. She's a great person. She's still working. She's doing episodes of Queen Sugar and lots of stuff, feature films and the like. Selena with J-Lo made the list, Lord of the Rings, Wally. So um, big ups to everybody who made it into the National Registry. I'm most excited about Cooley High and Richard Pryor. That's my wheelhouse. Those are the things that I love. If you're just tuning in, it's the Real Black Podcast, and we're talking about movies tonight. So let's get into these gift ideas. Let me just check the comments real quick. Hey, Pinnacle Power. Hey, Cosmo. Okay, Cosmo made it in. So all right, she's modding. Um, and like I said, Super Chat is on if you want to make a donation to the channel. But let's get into some releases. This first batch is from Kino Lorber, and you can get them on Amazon or you can get them directly from Kino Lorber. And speaking of Richard Pryor, this is on sale right now on the Kino Lorber website. This has Bustin' Loose, which is Cicely Tyson, Richard Pryor, made in the midst of the fire. Like, so part of it was done before his accident and part of it was done after. And it's, I don't know, in HD you'll probably see it, the makeup and things like that. But it's his first family oriented film. A lot of people consider it his best. You know, if you grew up watching Richard Pryor and you weren't allowed to hear him curse, this was his entree into that. The other connection to this, to the National Registry, besides Cicely Tyson, the screenplay is by Lonnie Elder III. I think this is one of two produced screenplays by Lonnie Elder III, who also wrote Sounder. He's also the writer of Sounder. And Al Scott gets the directing credit. But Michael Schultz, I believe, also worked on that. So there's another National Registry connection. And this has a commentary by Sergio Mims, 2 radio spots and theatrical trailer. So check out Bustin' Loose. And it looks like which I shouldn't be, but I keep seeing myself disappear. Yeah, Blue Collar is a classic. Next on the list from it's about the Marion Stokes Project. Marion Stokes was a Philadelphia-based educator who, when at the advent of VCRs, made it her mission to record every episode of news every day for a period of like 30 years. And she built this huge archive on VHS and beta tapes that is unparalleled. You know, she recorded information that was later like destroyed by the news stations. The news stations don't even have a lot of the stuff. And you know, a lot of stuff that's on the channel comes from the Marion Stokes Project. So that's why we highly recommend. If you're into documentaries, this is a great one. Cry Freedom, Denzel. You know, it's a little biased. Steve Biko story. You know, I think it was $10 at the Kino Lorber sale, so that's why I picked it up. One Potato, Two Potato is interracial marriage. Young man, you know, it's a custody battle over Charles can tell you more about this one. I have not seen it yet all the way through, but we use it a lot in our references. Let's see. Now we're moving on to let's do Time Life.com. Now these you gotta order these like tonight or tomorrow if you want to get them in time for the holidays. Um, because they come, but they come very quickly. Um, if you stay up late at night, you'll see these advertised on TV. So, but I'll tell you what's in them. I'll put a little more time into this. So, Richard Pryor, the ultimate Richard Pryor collection, uncensored. Um, if I haven't said it once, I've said it a million times. I'm a huge Richard Pryor fan. Richard Pryor and James Brown, those are my guys. And this is the ultimate set. It comes with I think 11 discs are in this, nicely packaged. So you get the two main ones. The camera's a little backwards. That's why I'm having issues figuring this out. I'm figuring it out. That's pretty good. So you see, these are both sets of photos taken by the same guy. I forget. Henry Diltz took these pictures, I believe. Getty Images. But they're regular DVDs. And a booklet. Each set comes with stuff. So this is called the Ultimate Richard Pryor Collection. It's pretty thorough. Booklet with lots of rare photos and essays by Jennifer Pryor. It has all the concert films in it. It has episodes of the Dick Cavett Show, documentary I Ain't Dead Yet, the movie JoJo Dancer, his last stand-up set that when he was in the wheelchair. There's a film of that from 1995, December 1995 to March 1996. A tribute to Richard Pryor that was hosted by Paul Rodriguez. Those are some of the bonuses. You have 4 episodes of Pryor's Place, his Saturday morning cartoon, 5 episodes, of Pryor's Place, his Saturday morning kids show, appearances from The Tonight Show, The Merv Griffin Show, all the episodes of The Richard Pryor Show, including the Richard Pryor Special, Mudbone Monologue, I'm trying to see if it has the roast on here or not, improv segment, audience Q&A. They might have left the roast off of this set. I've got to check this out. The previous, it's on YouTube. I don't know if it's on here, but there's a famous, if you Google Richard Pryor roast, there's a famous thing that was taped during the recording the Richard Pryor show the last time. So it was like a roast, and they're very no holds barred, uncensored. Paul Mooney gets dragged and all kinds of stuff. So they may have left that off of this set, but otherwise it's pretty thorough. And there's a documentary about the making of his lost film called Uncle Tom's Fairy Tales, which includes outtakes from that they found. There's no sound with them, but they have the pictures, and the producer of the film, Penelope Spheris, who went on to do Valley Girl, she narrates it. And it's very interesting because basically he was in his militant phase, and he did this movie called Uncle Tom's Fairy Tales, and she can explain it. And then it comes with a bonus disc, I Am Richard Pryor, which is a very good documentary. It's the most recent of the Richard Pryor documentaries, so they do that. That's at timelife.com. Let me see what else is in the Time Life stuff. The Flip Wilson show, I noticed Fonzie K. LaJoy said that she had ordered this already. She saw it on TV. This was a gift from a friend of mine. It came early, and I opened it up. But again, it's the same kind of treatment. Comes with a book with some photos, rare photos, ephemera. They even have a picture of the Geraldine doll in here, which I kind of vaguely remember it existed. There was a Flip Wilson doll, and I believe on one side it was Flip, and on the other side of the doll it was Geraldine. So there's a picture. There's a picture in here. What you see is what you get, suckers. So this is Geraldine doll, but I think the way it worked was the flip side of it was Flip Wilson. But this is great because again, you get a lot of discs, and each disc has 2 full 1-hour episodes of the Flip Wilson show. So it's the best episodes from each season. It lasted 3 seasons, I believe. And then there's also some bonus material. There's a half-hour interview special with him on one of the discs. The one thing that they didn't do, for whatever reason, that the Rhino box set, which I should have pulled out for you, if you're a real true collector, everything's repeated, except they left out the animated specials. Flip Wilson did 2 animated shows as part of his deal with NBC. And we had them on the channel at one point. I took them down because I knew this was coming out. I didn't want to have any issues with it. But for those who had a chance to see them, Flip Wilson did 2 animation series, 2 animated special half-hour specials, and they're not included in the box set. But otherwise, it's a great set because for years, decades, people have been asking for full 1-hour versions of the Flip Wilson show, and the musical guests were great. I mean, for those who don't know Flip Wilson, he was the first Black variety show in primetime television, network television. He was on NBC for 3 years, starting in 1970, 1971. He was the founder of Little David Records, which was a comedy record label that put out his material. He owned it, as well as George Carlin's early records that won all the Grammys and went platinum, AM and FM, Class Clown. Those were all owned by Flip Wilson at one time. And Franklin Ajayi, who's one of my favorite comedians, put out his first 2 albums, his second 2 albums on Little David Records. So he's got appearances by Red Fox, Ray Charles, Richard Pryor, Cher, Johnny Cash. I'm just looking at the photos. Gladys Knight and the Pips, Roberta Flack, The Temptations. I'm not sure. If I was producing this, I would have definitely put the episode that had Donny Hathaway on, and I'm not sure if that made the cut here. I don't believe it did. George Carlin, Sammy Davis Jr., Red Fox, Aretha Franklin, Errol Garner, the Jackson 5, Diane Carroll, and the Muppets. The Muppets are on a lot of episodes. The Osmonds, Muhammad Ali, Ella Fitzgerald. Like I said before, James Brown, Louis Armstrong, Pat Morita. So this will make a great surprise for people. I highly recommend that. Again, it's missing if I was producing it, I would have had the animated specials and I would have had the episode with Donny Hathaway, because that's a great musical performance for all we know, I believe. And you can see that clip on YouTube. The other thing from Time Life. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Eric Payne. I know Eric Payne. If that's the Eric Payne I think it is. Welcome, Black. The Soul of the Midnight Special. It's another Burt Sugarman production for Time Life. And he's licensing the rights, I believe, to all these things. I think it has something to do with Burt Sugarman. But the Midnight Special, they put out a box set maybe 10 years ago of the best of the Midnight Special. Now, this is all the Black acts. And once again, it comes with a great book. Yeah. It's got Teddy, OJ's, Al Green, Aretha, Bill Withers, Barry White. Most of them performing live. I don't think there's any lip syncing at all in this box set. And it goes from all these different episodes. Sly and the Family Stone, all their performances. These are musical performances from the best of episodes. So you're not getting the full episodes, but you're getting the full performances of certain artists from each episode. So what they did basically is separate the black artists out of the full hour-long episodes, and so you get all of Curtis Mayfield's performances from episode number 34, all of Sly and the Family Stone from episode 39, Billy Preston. And what's great about it is the discs are arranged by year, right? So you get 2 discs for 1973, or 1 disc for 1973, 74, 74. 74 is a good year to pop in because James Brown is at his glitteriest. He was the prime minister of the heavy funk in 1974, and there's some great clips there, and it goes all the way up until 1980, and then there's a bonus disc of Marvin Gaye live and from the Atlanta Stadium. So, and that's a full 67-minute long special. So Robert Townsend's Partners in Crime. Yeah, those would be great if they came back out. Those are hard to get. Just in case. Yeah, I've not found that Donny Hathaway episode in full. I do have the Midnight Special DVD download. Oh, is that the same Donald that I know? I'm seeing a lot of names that I recognize. It's kind of tripping me out a little bit. Switching, I'm going to switch off this, if I can take that off for a second. Some randoms before I get into Criterion. And then I can take some questions. Let me see if people want to call in. Let me see. How do I invite people on to chat? Pardon me. Doing this live. Okay, so if you want to join us, you can click that link and have your camera ready, because this will go another 10-15 minutes, and then we'll round out the hour with questions. This I thought was fun. This was a random. I saw a trailer on YouTube for this, and I never knew this movie existed. 2 Minutes of Fame from Code Black Entertainment, Cat Williams and Jay Farrow. And it actually has some repeat viewing value. Basically, Cat Williams is a legendary comedian, and Jay Farrow is an up-and-coming YouTube star, not too far from the truth. Jay Farrow has a viral moment, and he gets invited to be in a comedy competition in LA, and he makes fun of Cat on some viral videos. Cat gets wind of it, and then it becomes a challenge. And it's really, if you like Cat, you don't get to see Cat star in a lot of stuff, and if you like Jay, I highly recommend this one, 2 Minutes of Fame. And it's pretty affordable. It's under $10 most places. You can get that at Amazon. And then I'll crack this open. Ragtime is finally out on Blu-ray. This movie has been out of print for over 10 years. Copies on DVD were going for as high as $50 at one point. It was one of these things that was only available during the early days of DVD, and not many people owned it, because it's ragtime, but Paramount Presents is, everything's backwards. Paramount Presents is a new label that's putting out from celebrated classics to film lover favorites. Each title comes directly from the studio's renowned library. Well, of course it would. It's not writing anything special. Spanning over 100 years of storytellings. They've never looked better on Blu-ray, and they feature never before seen bonus content and exclusive collectible packaging. So Ragtime is Harold, I always mess it up. Howard Rollins Jr. Cracking this open, doing it live, folks. And this comes with 2 discs. The first disc is the movie remastered from a 4K master, and the second disc is the work print of the film, the director's edit of the movie. So, which is being made available for the very first time ever anywhere. And then there's also a digital flyer and ads for other Paramount Presents. But the packaging was going to be a little more fancy, but you get like a reproduction of the poster inside the cardboard sleeve. But these are supposed to be limited edition. So if you have a fan, it's a great film. Howard. I always mess it up. Rollins Jr. He's a talented jazz piano player, and he faces an injustice. Somebody dumps a bunch of manure in the back of his new car, and he goes through all lengths to get it fixed. That's one of the subplots, but there's a whole lot of other things that are going on in that story. Let's check the comments real quick. Howard Rollins. I don't know why I can't say that, Eric. Yeah, Howard was definitely, it's sort of, there's a parallel between Howard Rollins Jr. and for Sidney Poitier, it was James Edwards, where there was somebody else that was ahead of them that showed promise, but they had personal problems. And who else is in James Cagney, his last film, Ragtime. So it's like a pastiche. It's been so long since I've seen it, but it's a tapestry of different stories that take place around the same time period. But yeah, James Edwards was being groomed to be. He was the breakout star, and but he had alcoholism problems, and Sidney Poitier basically took over his roles, took his slot. Sort of the same way you could say Kevin Hart replaced Cat Williams as the guy, and certainly Denzel replaced Howard, who died. He died young. Speaking of people who passed away early, we're going to get into Criterion, and then, like I said, people, if you want to join the chat, you want to say hi, just click that link, the StreamYard link. I'm going to pop that up for a second so you can see it. But Criterion Collection, they got called out last year big time by the New York Times for being racist, and they were. Criterion, it's criterion.com. I believe that's right. Let me double check that before we jump into it. Criterion.com. So they got called out big time by the New York Times for being racist. There are no black movies in your catalog. So in the past 12 to 16 months, they've been working really hard to correct that. And we are all the benefactors of it. So I'm not sure why I can't see my name. One of the early things they put out was the signifying works of Marlon Riggs, which we've talked about before on this podcast. Marlon Riggs was an educator. If you saw Bamboozled, you basically saw the end of Bamboozled is Ethnic Notions, done by Spike Lee. But he was a queer filmmaker. He started off by making movies like Ethnic Notions. Let me see if I can get that in focus for you. Focus. Focus. Doesn't like you. All right. Tongues Untied. Ethnic Notions. Affirmations, Anthem. So he made experimental work and he made documentaries. Tongues Untied is a classic queer documentary about identity. Ethnic Notions deals with looking at the system of white supremacy through the ephemeral toys and notions like Aunt Jemima toys and different things that had stereotypical images. And it's narrated by Esther Roll. My favorite movie of his, well, Black Isn't Black Ain't is on here. It's all of his work. He died of AIDS very young, but Color Adjustment is one I go back to, and it basically looks at the history of blacks in television and questions whether the images that we hold as stereotypical and racist, such as Good Times and Amos and Andy, are that, or do we feel that way because we have a lack of images of ourselves? You know, so every time it goes through a chapter in the history of blacks in cinema or blacks in television, it asks the question and puts a screen up: is this racist, or is it just a lack of diversity and range in the images? And I think now we're at a stage where you have more images than ever, and they can't not be diverse because there's so many people making these images and telling stories. Now the question is does representation equal justice? Are we getting the same things out of the work that's geared towards us that the dominant culture always gets from their entertainment? So that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about a lot more in the next year or so. Let's see, just checking comments real quick. Yeah, it was on PBS. A lot of these documentaries were on PBS. Deep Cover. Am I forgetting one? I think I am. Deep Cover is out on Blu-ray from Criterion. Love and Basketball. That's the one I didn't bring over. And that has Love and Basketball is good. It has some short films on it from Gina Prince Bythewood. Menace to Society is in 4K, right? So you get a little more value. A die cut box. One disc is Blu-ray, one disc is 4K, which is the highest consumer product. A lot of movies are projected in 4K. And then the booklet folds out. And it has, do I have it? I don't have it handy. It replicates a lot of the special features from the Laserdisc, which is out of print, A Menace to Society. But it leaves out the short film, the drive-by. You know, the Hughes brothers who directed Menace to Society, it's their debut feature film. And they also did Dead Presidents, which was also a Criterion Laserdisc at one point. But the Laserdisc of Menace to Society had their early short film excerpted, the drive-by, and it's left off of this Blu-ray example for whatever reason. But you know, the good news is if you search the drive-by Hughes Brothers Real Black, I'll type that in. It is on YouTube. So you can see how they got their start. So that's a Criterion drive-by short film. So, and this came out Tuesday. I was really excited about this. Again, if I was producing it, Criterion, I would have had all this stuff that you have on it, but I would have done everything in my power to get Kyle Nichols. Kyle, oh shit, it's not Nichelle Nichols' son, Kyle Johnson, to be a part of this, because he's 70, he's getting up there. This is Kyle Johnson, by the way. He's still living. He's Nichelle Nichols' son, and it's possible he's going through some stuff and he didn't want to be involved. But it's slightly disappointing that they didn't get a commentary track from him. But they did get one. They did get some extra stuff with Nelson George and Ernest Dickerson, and they have 2 short films by Gordon Parks that he did before he made the Learning Tree. The one that's missing is the Flavio is missing, but the World of Perry Thomas and the Black Family in Harlem documentaries are on here, as well as 2 making of Learning Tree films that were made in 1968. One called My Father, Gordon Parks, and the other one was just a generic behind-the-scenes documentary. So a lot of people love this movie, and I think this is by far the best presentation that we're going to get out of it. And it's beautifully packaged. Comes with a book. The other thing I would have done, I mean, it's got a lot of photos by Parks Jr. Gordon Parks Jr. was the still photographer on here. Excerpts from his book, but he also did an audio book of the Learning Tree book. It would have been nice if they could have gotten the rights to put that Learning Tree audio book on there. All right, so winding it down, the last thing I want to talk about, and I'm open to questions. I'll go through. If you had questions, I know you're just chatting, but if you have questions, put them in there now so I can see them. Melvin Van Peebles Essential Films, and it's still on sale on Amazon. So you can get it for $62, which I think is a pretty good bargain considering the amount of content that's on here. You have his 4 of his feature films that he directed, restored in 4K, Blu-rays, but 4K transfers. So you have Story of a 3-Day Pass. I'll go in order. Watermelon Man, Sweetback, and Don't Play Us Cheap. And each disc has a lot of extra bonus features, including episodes of Black Journal that are included. The documentary, there's episodes of Black Journal, Detroit Tube Works. For Sweetback, it comes with, as a bonus movie, Badass, which is Mara Van Peebles' dramatization of the making of Sweetback. And then on one of these discs, there's How to Eat Your Watermelon in White Company and Enjoy It as part of this one, which is a great documentary with Joe Angio made. Joe Angio is one of our first guests ever on Real Black TV, and it's a great documentary about Melvin Van Peebles' life and career. And he's a true Renaissance man. We lost him earlier this year, and I think this box set contextualizes his importance, and I think it's something that as somebody gifted it to me, I really appreciate it. It's something that I really value. So that's the stuff. So the recap, to do the old Siskel and Ebert. We give them all thumbs up. Signifying work of Marlon Riggs. Ragtime. 2 Minutes of Fame with Jay Farrow and Cat Williams. A hidden gem. Even if it's on TV, I recommend you see it. One Potato, Two Potato. Cry Freedom. Recorder, the Marion Stokes Project. Half Baked with Dave Chappelle on Blu-ray. Bustin' Loose with Richard Pryor on Blu-ray. From Time Life, we have The Soul of the Midnight Special box set. That gets a very, very high recommendation for me as music fans. I'm sure people would love that. The Flip Wilson Show, the best of the Flip Wilson Show. Full episodes in their entirety. Once again, The Learning Tree, Menace to Society, Deep Cover. I forgot to mention Love and Basketball. And the Richard Pryor box set. So thanks for your time. All right, so we got a few minutes left. Does anybody want to join the chat? I'll take questions. What are you guys doing for your holidays, and so on and so forth. Just look here at the questions. We need to start a club here like AMC with Real Black. I agree. That's always been our hidden goal, to get the stories behind the stories on different movies and talk about them. How do you either monetize it or make it fun? So, but we have some guests. We just recorded a podcast. I can't tell you who the guest is, but he gave us a lot of insights into the making of this movie that is on the channel, and that'll be coming in the next few weeks. So look for that, but we'll do that. More Malcolm videos. I'm trying to find Malcolm X videos, I'm guessing, or Malcolm McLaren. We took that down. First R-rated movie that you ever saw. What was that? It couldn't have been. You lost me on that one, Eric. I'm glad you're watching, but you lost me. Interview with the Star of the Learning Tree. I'm trying. That's on my list now because Criterion dropped the ball. If anybody has any outreach to Kyle Johnson, please let him know that we'd love to talk to him about his experiences in the Learning Tree and in Brother on the Run. Okay. What are the Hudlin brothers up to? Well, Reggie has done a lot of stuff. He produced Django Unchained with Quentin Tarantino. He was a producer on the Oscars. This is going back 10 years. And then he's doing, what is he doing? I follow his Instagram. He's doing TV. His kids are in college now. He's having a good life, Reggie Hudlin. And Warrington is still running. He is one of the programmers at the Museum of the Moving Image in Queens. And he's still doing his martial arts, and he's living a good life as well. He was a guest. Warrington was a guest on the radio show a while ago. So if you want to catch up to the Hudlin brothers, you can Google Hudlin Brothers Real Black, and you'll see we have an interview with Reggie when he did the movie with Chadwick Boseman about Thurgood Marshall, and Warrington was on the radio show when I was hosting radio. What else? Membership. Okay. In terms of raising money, we're gonna be selling shirts next year. That's a good thing for people to know. So don't spend all your money this holiday season. Save a little for February. Cotton Comes to Harlem was the first R-rated movie. Nothing But a Man. Yes, that would be amazing if Criterion did it. But they got to hurry up because. And what's interesting, I mean, we lost Ivan Dixon, but the director and the cinematographer producer are still living. So Nothing But a Man should definitely be on somebody's list to, catch up with Michael Romer and Robert Young before it's too late, because they're both in their 90s. 93, 94 years old, but still very, very, very active. The who owns the footage of the Flip Wilson show? I think it's being put out through Sugarman. But let me see what. I mean, I guess if these sell well enough, you can ask for volume two. Paul Brownstein Productions has the Flip Wilson show, so they but the stock footage company is Reeling in the Years, which is Historic Films. Historic Films or Reeling in the Years owns the stock footage rights to it, but it's Paul Brownstein Productions that is responsible for the Flip Wilson Show DVD. And it's I just feel like Flip Wilson died a multimillionaire. He was one of the first. He was the first Black person to own property in Malibu, and he retired after doing the show for 3 years. He retired basically. He worked when he wanted to, but yeah, he owned the show up until his death, and now I think it's being serviced by Brownstein. Uh, my top three movies: Coming to America, Nothing But a Man, Trading Places, something like that. I don't know. It changes from day to day, but Nothing But a Man is probably up there. Cooley High is top five, top three. It depends on my mood. Cooley High, Nothing But a Man. Those are my two that always make the list. Uh, Milton Berle wearing a dress and Flip Wilson wearing a dress. Uh, that's a good question. Educate me more. What Flip about? Educate me more. Well, Geraldine was his character in drag. I wish I could play more. We are trying to interview old school Black actors. If this is the Eric Payne that's the actor, yeah, we'd love to have you on the show. Um, just looking at these questions. What are the Hudlin brothers? Yeah, I mean, the Flip Wilson show was a variety show. Every week he'd do different skits. It was in the round. So all the scenes took place on one set, basically. They bring in a backdrop or whatever, like a hospital set, or Geraldine played a nurse a lot. And it was appointment television back in 1970, 71. Some of my earliest memories, I was born in 69, was, oh, Flip Wilson's on, and we'd all rush to watch him on the color TV. So that was the thing. Oh, and I should mention before you find out from somebody else, um, movie that I'm in just got into Sundance. It's called We Need to Talk About Bill Cosby, and it's W. Kamau Bell from CNN. He interviewed me and a whole bunch of other people, Cliff Nesteroff and Godfrey, about our opinions about Bill Cosby. I believe I'm there more as a historical presence. Like, I told him, like, I'm not here to defend Mr. Cosby. He's got lawyers to do that. I'm here to defend his legacy. So that got into Sundance. It's going to premiere on January 22nd in Park City, Utah. And if you can't get to Park City, Utah, you can watch it online if you so desire, and it will later be on Showtime. But I'm a part of that project, and I'm kicking myself because I didn't wear a Real Black T-shirt. I just felt they said no logos, and I was feeling some kind of way about something. So I didn't promote the brand that day, but I'm very much a piece of the documentary. We need to talk about Bill Cosby at Sundance, January 22nd, and then later Showtime. So you could see me talking. I don't know what they used. I mean, it was I'll say now, if I said anything really stupid or ignorant or arrogant, I'm sorry, but he was beating me up. 4 hours of talking to Kamau Bell and trying not and dancing on a tightrope of what not to say and what to say. And then the irony of it all was literally the day after I do my interview with him, Cosby gets released from prison. So, I probably I would not have changed what my stance was, for the public, for posterity, but I would have been much more relieved, because it was, him being out made it a lot easier to say certain things, but at the time there was this uncertainty of whether he was spending his whole life in jail, that he would die in prison, so it was very sensitive and very stressful. Kamau was very good about things, but I was bleary eyed by the end of it. I honestly don't remember everything I said, and I hope that they don't use the bad stuff. I hope that I come off well, but I'm in it. So please support. Flip's shows were not live, they were taped. Yeah, live in front of a studio audience. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Eric, for answering that. Yeah, the skits were done live, the whole show. You gotta, I don't know where you can see a whole Flip Wilson show. I don't know if they're on YouTube, like a full hour. But and I would have loved to have seen them with the original commercials, quite frankly. That would have been very interesting to me to see what was being advertised along with the shows, but they cut those out. Skeet Low, the skits were live. Yeah, yeah, that little stage, you know, but it was all. Yeah, I mean, Kamau Bell, it's it skewed. His statement was he believes the women. So, I kind of knew what I was getting into when I agreed to do it. And I was okay with that because I really felt that his legacy needed protecting. And I think that that's what I do with the channel. I mean, there's a lot of stuff Bill Cosby did that would otherwise be erased if not for the channel. So, and I think especially the Black History Lost, Stolen, or Strayed documentary needs to be preserved. That should be in the National Archive, if you ask me. That documentary supersedes everything to me as far as changing the way I perceive the power of this medium of film and television. And that's on the channel. Cosby did a lot, and it's unfortunate he got taken down. Denise Nicholas, yeah, please email me a list of people that you would like us to interview. I think we have enough juice at this point to get people to be on the show. I'm going to do it. Lost, Stolen, or Strayed. 1968. Okay, we're almost an hour. Is there any last questions before we go? Dwayne Jesse, yeah, that'd be great too. Yeah, please email me a list if you're watching this late into the show of people that, besides me talking about movies that are on DVD, who would you like us to talk to while we can? I mean, this has been such a devastating year. People have been just passing on so fast. I've never seen a year like this where so many greats have transitioned, and we have the technology to be able to talk to people anywhere in the world. So yeah, please email me miked@realblack.com or info@realblack.com with your requests, and we'll do our best in 2022 to get to that. My Real Black's plans is the same plan I had for 2021 to make a feature film. Charles, he's still working on his book. We thought that that would be finished in 2021. It didn't happen, so we're just pushing forward for things. Rock Dutton, I'm reading the Sidney Poitier. We talked to his daughter. I don't know if I can get Sidney. He's up there in age. I could try. I could definitely try, but I haven't seen him do any interviews. I tried to get Harry Belafonte, and we got shut down. Oh, Putney Swope, absolutely. Putney Swope is one of my favorite movies. Normally, there's a Putney Swope poster behind me. Good night, Al. We have some Harry Belafonte video on the channel, and he was one of our first guests, but he's turned us down repeatedly in the most recent years. So I'm not expecting to be able to get him. There's a lot of stuff that I would love to do, if I had the resources, that video label. And this is an idea for people. A box set of all of his TV specials would just be great. Okay, it is Eric Payne from Drop Squad. I thought so. Yeah. I was just looking at the original Drop Squad. Eric Payne, I need the if you can get it from the guy, maybe you have a copy. The short film that Drop Squad was made from. It's on YouTube, but the quality is horrible. So I'd love to see it restored or replaced. I mean, one of the things that I'd like to do this year is start financing restorations of Black film that would otherwise be lost. So, and just get it out there, get people seeing it. So yeah. Well, we've been hanging out for an hour. I'm catching all the questions. I can definitely email info@realblack if you have a list of requests. We've got after I'm doing a thing in Denton, Texas. I'm preparing for mid-January, but and I'm debating whether to go to Sundance and see this movie live. COVID testing has got me scared. I don't want to get sick at Sundance. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Thank you. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Okay, yeah. info@realblack is also the best way to reach me. And yeah, I think I got your number. I'll try and call you after I jump off, Eric. But yeah, any requests, we'll take them. Cash App Pop Snyder. I don't know if that's fair, Pop, jumping on my live to say you need Christmas gifts. Email me. I'll send you some money, Pop, but I'm taking your shit down. Email me, Pop. I mean to block you though. I should put you in timeout. Hopefully, I don't know how to unblock him. All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you for your time. Have a great holiday, and we'll talk soon. Eric, I'm gonna call you in a minute. Peace and blessings.